So, welcome to the Treasury Elite Leadership series. I would like to thank all our viewers and members for supporting this noble cause of Treasury Elite, whose main objective is networking, knowledge sharing, and mentoring. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abhishek Goenka, founder of IFA Global and Treasury Elite. We bring in world class FX, Treasury, corporate finance, and overall financial transformation for companies across India over the last 15 years. And today we have Mr. Sharad Kumar Saraf, President, FIEO, and Founder Chairman, Technocraft Group. Well, Mr. Saraf is a distinguished award winner alumni of IIT Mumbai. He has nearly 50 years of rich business experience, particularly in foreign trade. Starting from scratch in 1972, he has built a strong multi-product, multinational corporate having factories in India and China and several distribution centers in several countries in the world. He, at present, is leading and directing several important institutions in India. He is also the president of the Confederation of Exporting Units and former Indian representative on the National Cotton Advisory Committee, Washington. He is also on the managing committee of EPC, Indian Cotton Mills Federation, Mill Owners Association. He in the past held positions of vice chairman of EPC and panel chairman of Chemexcel. Welcome, Mr. Saraf. How are you doing today?
Well, fine, Abhishek. Thank you for inviting me and giving this opportunity and honor to be with you as well as with all the listeners.
Glad to have you today as a part of Treasury Elite Entrepreneur Series. In the next 35 minutes, we will love to learn from your experiences. So, Mr. Saraf, you have had a very, very interesting journey over the last 40 years. You have been part of various forums and represented India under various platforms. Please take us through your entrepreneurial journey and your major three learnings over the last many years.
In view of constraint of time, I will try to restrict and go a little bit fast forward. But the seed of entrepreneurship, in my opinion, can be seen in your school college days itself. You can make out which student is going to be an entrepreneur, and even in the job, even in a professional life, such people tend to be entrepreneurs. Every profession, according to me, is an entrepreneur. So I had that inclination all the way. And when I graduated from IIT, I thought of taking some experience. So for 4 years, I worked in a family business owned by my cousin, and I was treated like a promoter, even though I was only senior manager there. But I learned a lot of things. Then in 73, I got an opportunity to start a small industry. I have always been dreaming of starting a small industry. I never had a vision of any big industry because I didn't have the money. I didn't have resource. So all I had was my father's about 160,000 rupees as a terminal benefits that he got with 18 years of serving Birlas. And with that capital, we ventured into what is now Technocraft Industries. And all I could buy was 1,000 square meters of land, constructed only 3,500 square feet of building, not knowing which way the future will go. So I always kept the option of going back to job available with me. And a couple of times I did get that kind of premonition. But fortunately, my younger brother was also with me, and he's also a first-class engineer from IIT Bombay. And both of us, by sheer dint of hard work and our IIT background, we deciphered a code of a high-precision engineering product, which at that time was a world monopoly of an American company. And we developed that product very successfully. We never knew about the monopoly. We never knew about how intricate or serious it is. We just started looking at it and producing it as a challenge because somebody said it's very difficult and nobody succeeded. So we said, okay, if nobody succeeded, then we are going to succeed. And then from then, fortunately, the business kept growing all the way, and it kept going up till about 1990. We became world leaders in these drum closures that we had started off with. And then we thought of diversifying because we thought it's not good to put all eggs in one basket. And the steel drum business was a little bit stagnating. And we were already a very well known brand internationally. Then we went into textile. So we put up a full integrated textile mill, and we bought an old tube mill in auction and converted into a very high quality scaffolding and formwork unit. So we are now the largest producer of drum closures in the world. We are second largest. We are the largest producer of scaffolding systems in India, largest producer and exporter. And our textile business is also reasonably large. But unfortunately, it is not the business that we should have been in. It's not doing very well. But this journey has been quite seamless, and we have been very lucky in the sense that we have not seen really bad times that normally a businessman would see. And this is probably because of our very prudent fiscal policy, which was dictated by my father. He refused to do any borrowings from the bank, and if even for some kind of a term loan or some loan was to be taken, he would prefer to take a check on Monday instead of Friday. That why I pay interest for Saturday, Sunday. So we went to that extent. So we had a very tight fiscal policy, and that served us very well. And the other thing was our lifestyle is very frugal, very simple. So we put in all our resources back, at least 80-90% of it back in our business, so that the business keeps growing. So that has gone quite all right. And now I am in the third stage of my career, the final, I would say, hopefully. And I'm now like a mentor. Since my father passed away, I'm the chairman of the company, and I'm enjoying my role not only as a mentor to the company, but also mentor to various startups and youngsters who are putting up. I'm running a very interesting very high quality skill training center in Murbad, and I'm very proud of it. And I do all the work that I really enjoy doing. In fact, I have always done all that I enjoy doing, but now I'm really enjoying my work. So I have responsibility as a governing board member of IIT Bombay and as chairman of board of governors of IIT Jammu, and I am connected with several educational institutions.
Excellent. In fact, that was my second question to you, that one common thread which could link a lot of global CEOs is that it is not always about the money. In the first half, it's about the money, but later on, the priorities change. So I wanted to ask you that in today's environment and in today's era, what is one single biggest reason for you to get out of bed every morning and get yourself to work? What is it that drives you today? So is it that training center?
Well, I can answer this just in one sentence. I want my today to be better than yesterday. Let's put it like this. So when I get up in the morning, I make sure that today I'm going to do things like never before and like there is no tomorrow. So, that then energizes me, the mental capability of doing what I do. So I think that should be a motto of everybody rather, that you live for today.
That's excellent. Sarafji, now you have been into export business for pretty long. You have seen various manufacturing facilities. You are part of FIEO and various other industry organizations. Now, I would like to ask you that, what are the broad trends that you are seeing in the overall export market in India? I mean, India still has a very small share in terms of global exports. What do Indian companies need to do to develop that sustainable competitive advantage? And what can we learn as a country from developed and matured markets?
Abhishek, you are quite right. We are what Andy Grove would say at an inflection point. Correct. And we just can't go straight anymore. We have to now take a quantum jump, and thanks to my position in FIEO, I am able to interact with the decision makers, and the global business structure is changing rapidly. The present COVID pandemic has accelerated this pace of change. This change has been happening for last at least 3 years, faster than never before, mainly because of the computer revolution, the digital revolution that has come. And the pandemic has brought in a new set of rules, a new set of norms. So, for example, work from home. Now, we never imagined in offices like ours that our staff can work from home. But now I find that more than half of them are working from home, and they are doing exactly what they would do in the office.
Exactly.
And they are very happy saving 2.5, 3 hours of this grueling traveling, torturous traveling every day. So we will have to also, our companies in India, coming to the second part of your question, will also have to be more agile, more efficient, more productive, more lean and mean, which means the staff is now, thanks to pandemic, is now better trained than ever before. They are able to take more responsibilities. I am myself quite amazed at the responsibilities that our own staff is taking, which I never thought that they would do. We are now, sort of in a phase of AI and BI. AI is artificial intelligence and BI is biological intelligence. And both of them are equally important. And AI is, everybody talks of AI. But let us understand that even the biological intelligence, which is inherent, inbuilt, but requires a lot of polishing, which is happening today. It's like gold which is covered with dust or dirt. So you have to polish it. And it is now being polished. So with the globalization, all this is going to happen. Finally, what you said was what our companies need to do. They need to absorb technology as fast as they can. And this is a problem of our business, that they are very slow in absorbing technology. And a lot of them are shying away from technology. ये तो हो नहीं सकता है. Our fellows will not be able to do it. No, it's too expensive. Automation is expensive. They don't realize the economics, the overall economics of investing in technology. In our company, I would give 80% success to our continuous use of it. Technology doesn't mean only digital technology, but also the process technology, continuous automation. So our companies will have to upgrade themselves.
But sir, I'd like to ask a personal question from you, that in your last many years of entrepreneurial journey, what was the biggest life-changing or a difficult business experience for you? And how did you evolve that? And now when you look at it today, how do you feel about it?
Well, there is a book.
I'm asking you because
There's a book by Bill Gates which says, "Stay hungry, stay foolish."
Yes.
In 1972, I was hungry, I was foolish at that point of time. I went into manufacturing a product about which I never knew anything. I never knew the market. I never had the technology. I didn't have a clue of whom I'm going to sell. I just didn't know anything. And I started. I think that was a life-changing moment, one, if you consider it that way. The second, or maybe the first, more important, which probably I should have mentioned earlier, was, in 69 when I passed out, almost 80% of my batchmates from IIT took admission in US and went away. And I also had admission. My father at time was serving Birlas, and he was sort of middle-level manager. And I didn't have much to look forward to. And I had admission into universities. And in those days, getting free scholarships was easy. I had it. There was no problem. I don't know, sometime in May night, while going to sleep, I just have premonition, why am I going? China yahan, marna yahan. So why not I stay back and see what it looks like? I mean, if it comes to going, one can look at it later on. There's no issue, there's no hurry. So next day I told my mother that, look, I'm not going. I'm staying back. And I thought she's going to be angry. That, look, why are you throwing away your future? But on the other hand, she gave me a very big hug, a tight hug, and said, well, this is the best news I've got for this whole year or so far maybe. And we were very happy. And I think that also changed my life. If I had gone to US, you and I would not have been sitting here like this. And things would have been quite different. So it's a life-changing experience.
Correct.
Quite a few like this, but I think these are the two major ones.
That's excellent. In fact, I would say that India would have lost one entrepreneur if you would have also been following the herd and going back to the US. So I think that's phenomenal. And sir, I would like to know, during the process of running companies, what is your experience in differentiating entrepreneurship with professional management, and how do you keep a balance between both of them? And this is a question for all the Indian-based family entrepreneurs in India.
The first issue is, as I said earlier, every profession is also an entrepreneur. And if he thinks that way, then he'll be on the top of the ladder. All the top CEOs and chief executives and so on all think like entrepreneurs. So then there at that level, it merges, sort of merges. But the basic difference is in the risk-taking ability. A professional would not take the kind of risk that an entrepreneur would take. I would, in my company, say, okay, go ahead and do it. We'll face the consequences. But my manager, however senior he is, he will not do that. He will say, no, let me see, let me get a report, let me consult somebody, let me see what others are doing, and so on. That is the difference. An entrepreneur will work with his instincts, while a professional will work logically. He would go from what his a business school has taught him and think very logically. While we sometimes just throw the logic out of the window and think direct from the heart.
We think from the heart.
Direct from the heart, exactly.
I was talking to Mr. Sehgal, the chairman of Motherson Group, and I asked him about entrepreneurship, and he's obviously a very successful guy, running companies across various countries, done 22 M&As, etc. He jokingly told me that, Abhishek, I had to ask my son once he come back from his MBA. It took me 2 years to unlearn him. कि भैया धंधा ऐसे नहीं होता है. That's a different ball game altogether. And this is the same thought when I was talking to Mr. Rajesh of Rajesh Exports. उन्होंने भी मुझे यही कहा कि अभिषेक, अभी मैं सबके लिए ये तो नहीं बोल सकता कि भाई जो सब पढ़ लिख के आते हैं खराब है, क्योंकि मैं भी MBA हूँ. तो but he said that yes, a lot of things that we go and study in these schools has to be unlearned. A lot of things has to be thought from the heart and the mind and your consciousness, which helps you to bring in, right decisions at time. And you just have to go with the flow. I mean, बहुत ज़्यादा over calculation करने से बोलते हैं ना, over analysis is paralysis.
Then the entrepreneurship is gone. The enterprise is gone. And this I learned in my first 4 years when I was working for my cousin. And he's an entrepreneur par excellence. So I learned this from him, and I unlearned a lot of things that I learned in IIT. And I had to understand how the life really works,
Correct.
So you're quite right. And these are two separate issues.
Correct. So, Saradji, I want to know a little bit more about you as your person, and what are your 3 rituals, and a little bit about your spiritual journey.
I was spiritually inclined from the very childhood time because my mother was a very, God-fearing person, and she did her morning puja almost every day. So, but then going into IIT, my mind became very scientific, and I would question anything and everything. But my actual spiritual journey started when I did a course of Vipassana, and our guru was also a Goenka.
मैंने भी किया है
Like,
सर
so you know what it takes and what.
Yeah, SN Goenka ji.
So,
हाँ.
yes, Satyanarayan Goenka. And I am practicing it even today. And I do half an hour of meditation, Vipassana meditation, every day. That has changed, brought a lot of changes in my life. I did about 25 years back. The three rituals that you asked me, one is morning walk, without telephone, without anyone, for 45 minutes. There's a time for myself. The second ritual, which you may not call a ritual, is I must reply to all my emails on the same day. I don't leave any mail pending for the next day. It has to be attended, otherwise my day doesn't end. It carries on. So all my mails, that's a ritual to me. The third is in the evening, I do half an hour yoga, half an hour meditation. That's again 1 hour for me. This I started with COVID from March. So I've been doing this for last 7 months. And this has done a lot of good things for me. It has given more space to my son and my nephew, who are now inducted in the business, because I have stopped interfering in any work, and they have the free, freedom to do anything they like. So which they are enjoying. And this, I think, are the main three rituals in my life at present.
Excellent. In fact,
otherwise, I don't believe in going to temples or any other Hindu rituals. I am absolutely fundamentalist Hindu, there's no doubt, but I don't believe in any rituals.
So, Sarafji, now over this period, you would have hired hundreds of people. What is the 2 or 3 qualities that you look to understand people when you hire them?
I only get to interview few, not too many. In good old days, I would interview almost everybody whom we engage at all levels. But now our HODs interview guys who work under them. But when I interview, the first thing I see is family background, how happy or otherwise he is. And we prefer to engage staff who is staying with his family. Either in our campus, we have a large campus of our own in Mumbai, or otherwise, wherever he's staying, he needs to stay with his family. The next is general intelligence, general level of intelligence. That yes, that basic intelligence should be there, and that becomes clear once you ask a few questions. And the third, last thing, is his capacity of doing hard work. The fellow should not shy away from sitting back, doing work on Sundays. Not that we ask for it.
Yeah.
We don't ask for it. But in fact, we discourage it, because only those who are inefficient need to sit back after 8 hours. Otherwise, there is no need. You can do all your work well within 8 hours. But still, that capacity of hard work needs to be there. Then only will come the dedication.
Right.
I don't care about the experience, whether he has the domain knowledge, domain experience, all that will come. Or his any other managerial capabilities or anything else, all that will come. We will mold him in our Technocraft culture, which is possible. So that basic characteristics must be there.
Right. So my last question to you, sir. One fun fact about you, what people do not know so far.
Well, you don't want me to take out skeletons from the cupboard. I don't think you need. You need to do that.
ये ऐसी क्वेश्चन है सर, सबके चेहरे पे स्माइल आ जाती है.
No. There. Honestly speaking, I am one of the most transparent person.
So, but fun fact, anything which you do
come across, and I hardly have anything that I need to hide. You see, when I was in hostel, I picked up smoking, and I used to smoke. And after I got married, to her horror, my wife found out that I am smoking, and she was horrified. So she told me, cigarette or me, you decide. Now, I was married only about 2.5 months. So I thought that, look, it's too risky at the moment to, to look for another wife. I might as well give up smoking. Anyway, I would have given up after some time. So I gave up smoking. Now, not many people know that I used to smoke and smoke properly, not just like an amateur, but like a professional. So this is now going back to 50 years. I have given up smoking 50 years back. We are married almost, we'll be 50 soon, let us say.
Oh, super.
Plus.
Excellent.
So it's more than 48 years. And now I can't stand the smoke. So if there is a smoky room, I don't tend to sit there or stay there long. So I would think that that is one skeleton in my cupboard. But then there are quite a few from my hostel time, but that is not worth talking.
No, but it's such a lovely, candid discussion that you had. Yes. I mean, it's been 50 years of relationship. It's phenomenal. I mean, that becomes I would say, something that people to look up to. 50 years relationship, and that's the beauty of Indian culture, I would say.
Abhishek, two relationships go back to 50 years. That I have a wife who's been with me for almost 50 years now. Very soon we'll do 50 years. And my brother and I, our partnership continues from 72 onwards.
Excellent.
So it's very rare, and he's only less than 2 years younger than me. He was only 1 year junior to me in IIT. And I don't know, we are more friends or we are more brothers. But we have all common friends. We have all common relatives. And we share absolutely everything, all the information, anything about business, everything we share. And it's been a very good relationship.
Excellent. In fact, it's told that there's a concept of mastermind. Concept of mastermind in one of the books of Napoleon Hill, they have written specifically that when two minds together thinks about a common objective, a common goal, वो 2 और 2 11 बोलते हैं ना, वैसे ही वो आपकी कंपनी में जितने मास्टरमाइंड जैसे हो जाएंगे, जिनका फोकस एकदम एक जैसा हो जाएगा, उतनी ही तेजी से वो विजन जाता है और वो कंपनी की ग्रोथ उतनी तेजी से होती है. तो अगर आपकी वो 50 साल से वो मास्टरमाइंड बनी हुई है और अनकंडीशनली बनी हुई है, I think it's phenomenal, and I think that's one of the reasons why the firm has been consistently growing over the last 50 years.
And my brother and I, we complement each other in the business, and it worked out quite well. So God has been kind, God has been very kind. Let's put it like this.
Excellent.
Things could have been different.
बहुत अच्छा लगा सर आपसे बात करके, सराफ जी. When I talk to you, I feel I'm talking to my father. I think he's of similar age. And we belong to Marwadi family, so we could relate the discussion so much. And I think thank you so much for taking out time. It's been a lovely conversation, and I'm sure a lot of these family-based entrepreneurs, young budding entrepreneurs who would be listening to you, would source inspiration from your journey, your thoughts, your ideas, and some important message which you shared for them for the future.
Thank you, Abhishek. I enjoyed as much as you did. So
always a pleasure.
My pleasure also. And I am open for any further discussions. Send me an email and you'll get a reply within 24 hours.
जरूर. इनफैक्ट हमारे जितने भी ये प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं ना, इसमें आपके यहाँ से सुभाष जी जो हैं, सुभाष खंडेलवाल जी, he is always registered on those programs.
Okay.
हमारे ट्रेजरी एलीट के काफी प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं जहां पर हम लोग वर्ल्ड के बेस्ट स्पीकर्स को बुलाते हैं. इंडिया से ही नहीं, जबकि बाहर से भी we have called the UK foreign ministers, we have called the best of hedge fund managers, we called Mark Mobius. So Subhash has been part of all our programs. So I keep seeing his names. But next time मैं आपको भी invite भेजूंगा, आप जरूर आइए. And it's a pleasure. And you're doing a phenomenal job at FIEO. I was seeing you on television during the COVID times कि आप शिरीन मान के साथ लग के जैसे फाइट कर रहे थे पूरे एक्सपोर्टर कम्युनिटी के लिए, about SOPs and what has to be done. And मैंने उस समय भी देखा कि भाई जो फॉरेन एक्सचेंज की मूवमेंट्स इतनी बड़ी हो गई थी, कैंसिलेशंस हो रहे थे, आप लोग ने काफी इनिशिएटिव, बहुत अच्छा, आप लोग ने बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, इनफैक्ट फॉर द एंटायर कम्युनिटी सर.
थैंक यू अभिषेक.
थैंक यू सो मच. Pleasure.